Hi guys, welcome to our second session for week 3 of DS248. Today we're going to go through the announcements, we're going to take a look at the assignment overview, and we're going to start the assignment part 1 demo. Our next lecture will be tomorrow, Wednesday at 5:15 p.m. Christy's schedule for the SSC, the Student Success Center, is posted in our classroom announcements. I will be in the SSC on Thursday from 8 to 11 p.m. Mountain Time and on Friday from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Mountain Time. I know you have a lot to do this week. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get frustrated. If you need help, come in and see me or Christy, or send me an email. Let me know what you're having trouble with. Again, I will be sending out help sheets just like I did in week 1 that will help you with this code. And we're going to demo today and walk you through it step by step. This week, you will be creating the structure with HTML and style it with CSS, 2 of the 4 pages. Knowing how to create an efficient workflow will make your job easier and will be less likely to make mistakes. As with most Adobe products, there are multiple ways to accomplish a given task. The approach is very ingenious because every designer has their own style of working through their design process. This week, multiple approaches on getting the image text into your HTML pages you created in week 1's assessment means you can experiment and find out which workflow makes the most sense to you. As for the method you use, all will require attention to detail when setting up documents in a built-in tool to get content from one program to the other. The live session will explore some of these, and the course media week 3 required media shows several other ways as well. Still working with the document in your root folder, you will be structuring the HTML and styling the CSS for the crew and services page content for this assignment. Fix any issues from your feedback from your header and footer from week 1's assignment and assessment. The assignment instructions. The services page has an identical structure as the home page. Adjust the subtle differences in the structure and styling that you can see from the wireframe. Hint, the read more buttons have been removed and the type, position, and size are different in the main image area at the top of the page. The crew has some noticeable differences with the grid. Adjust the HTML structure tags to accommodate the grid changes. Hint, the large image at the top has been replaced with a bar of color with the title of the page in it, and the grid has 2 rows in the first column, and in the other 3 columns have just 1 row. Okay, guys, we're going to start with the demo, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the wireframe. Here is the structure for our services page. How many rows do we have? 3, that's correct. How many columns are in the first row? How many are in the second row? In the third row? That's right. So we know that we're going to need a div tag called row, right? That has a class of row for the first row and the second row and the third row. So we're going to have 3 div tags that have a class of row. And then we're in the first row div tag, we're going to need another div tag called column because it's just 1 column, right? And in the second row, we're going to need 2 div tags. They're not columns because they're not full width because there's 2 columns in each row. So we could call it a medium column. So we're going to need 2 div classes called medium column. And then in the 4th row, we're going to need 4 different div tags between that row div tag And we could call it small, right? So let's jump into Dreamweaver. And let's see what we have already built into our files. First thing you're going to do is open your Dreamweaver. You're going to go to Site. You're going to go to Manage Sites. You're going to make sure you click on that lawn care landscaping. It's going to open up the pages you did in week 1 that should have your index, your service, your contact, your crew. We're going to be starting with our service page. I'm going to double click it. And we're going to open it up. Come on. I'm going to go into Code View. The first thing you're going to do is shrink the header so it stays out of your way. Go down and find the footer and do the same thing to it. Shrink that footer. And then everything between these main tags, go ahead and delete it. It'll be easier if you start from scratch and type the code out versus trying to manipulate that code that's already there, because it's too easy to get lost in it. So just delete it. And then you have 2 main tags. You're going to put your cursor between those 2 main tags. And first, before we get started, we're going to take a look at our style sheet. And we're going to see what kind of rules we already have made. Now, we know that according to our wireframe, that first box that we have is a colored box. No, it's a services photo. A services photo goes in that box. Well, we can say, okay, so it's going to be just like the HP banner, because the home page had a banner just like that. So we know we're going to have to duplicate this rule. So I'm going to highlight it. We're going to copy it and put my cursor on line 36 and paste it. Now, instead of saying HP banner, I'm going to say SP for services page. And I'm going to have to change this image to something different. So I'm going to erase it. And I'm going to retype image. Hit my enter key on browse. Oops. Try that again. Hit my enter key on browse. Let Dreamweaver think for a second. And I'm going to go into my lawn care site images and find that services banner. It's right there. I'm going to hit open. Come on. Everybody get that? You just erase what's between the 2 parentheses and retype image. And then hit your enter key when browse pops up. You're going to see that services banner come up. I'm going to hit open. You won't get that message, but since this is the second time I did it, I got that message. So there's my services banner image. So there's my rule SP-banner. I'm going to keep going down. We have some tablet view, desktop view. We don't have any column rules. None at all. We're going to have to make some, especially in the tablet view and the desktop view. But for now, I'm just going to go to File, go to Save All. We are going to go back to our source code. So we need to make our first row, right? And it's div with a class of what? Row, right? And it gives us our end tag. I'm going to hit my enter key so my cursor's between them. Now in that first row, we need one column, right? So that's another div tag. Div class equals column. Now, we also need this to be another class, don't we? What other class do we need to add here? It's a column, but it also holds another rule, a SP banner, right? So it should say div class equals column space SP banner, because that's the background. Then you're going to open up that copyright Word document that's in your mockup folder that says DS248 copy long care website.docx. Come on. Word and Dreamweaver are not getting along very well today. Come on. I'm spinning. See if it'll let me switch over. Come on. There we go, finally. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go down and find the services page, which is right here. So in that first box is where all of this information goes. So H3 at first. So I'm going to copy that text. And then that Word document kind of helps you out. You know, you need an H3 tag. I'm going to paste that text. After that closing tag, I'm going to hit my enter key, and I need another H3 tag. And I'm going to copy that other set of text, maybe, which is here. So you have to have two H3 tags. Now it gives you a little note that says larger folder than the line above. Well, in order to do something like that, I have to what? I have to assign a class, right? So I can control that. So I can style that specific thing. I'm going to paste this, go back into my tag, and this time I'm going to give it an ID. And let's call it customer satisfaction. So there's that H3 tag. Now, according to my Word document, the next set of text that goes inside that first column is an H1 tag. So I'm going to make that H1 tag and paste my text. So now we have this nice little H1 text. So let's take a look at our split view. And we know that we go from cell phone to desktop, right? So we need to stretch your screen down, shrink it down, so it's a little smaller. But now we're missing something here. So let's go see. We've got our SP banner. Let's go into our CSS designer here. Let's find that SP banner rule. There it is. Let's go to my background. Let's see if we can find this image again because it's not showing up on my screen. On care side, images, services banner, open, there we go. But as you can see, this doesn't exactly look right. Let's take a look at that wireframe again. It needs to be spaced out a little bit. The top one should be smaller than the second tag, and the third tag should be the biggest, but not boldest. So we're going to go back here. We need to definitely set an H3 rule. So I'm going to put my cursor inside that H3. We don't already have one of those rules, so we have to create it. I'm going to hit my plus sign in the selectors, and I'm going to erase everything but H3. I'm going to go to my type tools and go to my font size. And I'm going to change it to EM. Turn it up just a little bit. Oops, too big. Let's say 0.5. Still looks too big. Let's try 0.1. Oh, not big enough. 8. Still not big enough. Oh, 0.8 EM. I changed it to pixels. Let's see. According to our wireframe here, landscape needs should be on a second line. Oh, that looks about the right size according to our wireframe. And we need to add a little bit of padding there on the bottom. So I'm going to go back to my layout and go to my padding. I'm going to turn that up just a little bit. Kind of stretch it out there a little bit. Let's go to 15 pixels. Now, we have this H3 ID customer satisfaction. It needs to be bigger and it needs to be bolder. So I'm going to hit my plus sign in that selectors, and I'm going to erase everything but the pound sign and customer satisfaction. I'm going to go to my type, font size. I'm going to change it to EM. Let's try 1. That's a little bigger. Let's try 1.5. And according to our wireframe, guarantee should be on a second line. And there should be a little bit of space. So I'm going to change the line height. Go to %. I'm going to turn that up. And drop that down a little bit. There we go, like that. So now we go from small to bigger, which is the way it's supposed to. Except for our H1 shows that it shouldn't actually be bold. According to our wireframe, it shouldn't be bold. So I'm going to have to make a rule for that H1 so that it doesn't default to bold. Make that rule, go to my type, and go to font weight, and choose normal. And it should all be on how many, let's see, on cell phone shot size, it should all be about like that. That looks pretty good. So if I went all the way down to 320, yeah, that still looks good. So we know it's supposed to look like that there. So I need to set up that first column at 768. So I'm going to click on that purple bar for 768. Move this down so I can see it. 768, it still looks pretty good. And according to our wireframe, for tablet view, it's supposed to be on a row all of its own. So I think that still looks pretty good. Might need to space this out a little bit more. So I'm going to go to my customer satisfaction rule. I'm going to right click on it. We're going to duplicate into media query 768. And I'm going to go up here to my media, right here, and click on 768. I only have a few rules there, but the one I want to manipulate is this customer satisfaction, because I want to move this so it's down here. I'm going to use my padding to move it. Go to my padding, go to the bottom padding, and I'm going to turn that up. to about 15 pixels. Now it looks like we probably need to move customer satisfaction down too. So I'm going to go back to the top and click on all sources so that nothing in my media is highlighted. And I'm going to find that H3 rule. Right click, duplicate it into 768 as well. And then click back on 768. There's the H3. And I'm going to adjust this padding a little more. That looks a lot better. I might even add just a little bit of top padding to it. Bring down this bottom padding a little bit. That looks much better. So that's our first column. It's complete. I'm going to get rid of that empty line space that I have there. And this is our first row. So I'm going to put my column at the end of that div tag for the first row because we have another row that needs to be done. So div class equals quotations row. Hit my enter key so my cursor's between them. Now the second row has 2 columns, 2 medium columns. Now the home page, let's open that file up for just a second because I want to show you guys this here. File drawing. I'm going to open up my home page real quick. Go into code view. Open the main content, and you will notice that there is already a rule called column medium 1/2. I'm going to copy that. I think there's already a small one too. No, maybe not. Yes, there's a column large 1/4. We're going to use that too. I'm going to go back to my services page, and we're going to go div class equals column space column medium 1/2. Now that next box, the first column in the second row, is a colored box. It's the light blue color like on our home page. Now, if we go to our styles, we already have that box made. It was called the info box. Let's find it. Info box dark, and we have an info box tan. So we're going to go to the info box tan. We're going to use that rule. So I'm going to go back to my source code. And up here in this class, I'm also going to add info box tan. My cursor back between it. There it is so far. And now I'm going to go to that Word document because we need to copy the next set of stuff. In box 2, in the 2 boxes, one of them needs to say lawn care services as an H2 tag. So I'm going to make that H2 tag, paste my text, my enter key, and then it has some paragraph. Copy that. Going to make a P tag. Paste my paragraph text. This needs to come back here. This needs to be a line break because this should be on the next line. Like that. I'm going to move my paragraph tag back up to the end of that. And then hit my enter key. And according to our Word document, there is an unordered list that needs to say mowing, edging, hedge trimming, cleaning all, and cutting. I'm going to copy that little list. And I'm going to make my unordered list tag, which is UL for unordered list. You guys can see me, right? Okay, I'm going to paste that list. I'm going to tab this over so that it's all even and looks good. Now, in between the UL tags, I have to have list items, right? The list item tag is LI. I'm going to highlight mowing, cut it, paste it in between those tags. And another list item is the edging. LI, highlight edging, cut it, paste it between there. Heads trimming, cut it, paste it between those two tags, and then the cleaning. Those bullet points right there, they automatically show up when you have a UL tag with list items in between it. It will automatically give you those bullet points. Now, everything right now is centered, and we're going to have to change that. So we have our list there. And according to our wireframe, that list is actually 2 lists. Instead of 1 long list, it shows it to be in like a table. So let's do this a different way because I think it will be easier for you guys to do it as an actual table. You can go up to Insert and go to HTML, go to Table. I'm going to open this little box. You need 2 rows and 2 columns. And you're just simply going to hit OK. And you see the code. It automatically puts it in there for you. You just have to replace what's between these TD tags. And the first one is supposed to say mowing. So I'm going to copy mowing and replace that orange text. It says mowing. And then I'm going to do edging. And then heads trimming. Oops. Copy. Paste. And then cleaning all cuttings. Place that orange text. Now we just need to add, refresh down here. We just need to add our bullet points. Well, if I go to the first TD and I look down here in my properties box, right here at the bottom, let's see if I can turn my drawing tools on. Right here is the unordered list icon. If I click it, mowing, click it, puts it way out there though. But you see what it did? It turned it in UL, LI, UL. And it's set to center. So let's go, see, undo it, and have a list like that. So how would we add, that list style type? It's a little dot, right? In the mobile view, nope, in the mobile view, it's side by side as well. it just has that little dot. That little dot is because it needs to be left aligned. So you would just click in that mowing, click your little bullets button for unordered list, go to edging, click the bullets button, hedge trimming, click the bullets button, cleaning, click the bullets button. Now, we're going to give this T body, we're going to give it a class. A little class equals, and we're going to call it services. And we're going to make a nice little rule in our CSS designer, our plus sign, and we get this services. Hit my enter key, go to my text align, I'm going to choose left, and there it is. I'm going to go to my margins. I'm going to choose auto right, auto left. And we're going to change actually our table width. We need to set our margins and our table width too. I'm going to hit my plus sign. I'm going to erase everything except for table. And we're going to set our width to 2%. I think, can it go so, oops, 75% is a little better. And my margins, auto, that moves everything towards the center, makes it look a little bit better. We set a rule for our table. Basically what I did is this width, I overrode the width here. So you could just erase that from your code. Oops. I overrode that with a style called table. And I changed the width to 75%. And when I set the margins to auto, it centered that table within this column. So it makes it look a little bit better. So now we have that entire table done. I'm going to find the div tag for that column. It's right there. Put my cursor right after it because we have two columns in that row, right? So we go div, class, column, and the medium column. I can't remember what it was called. What's it called? Column, medium, 1/2. Column, medium, oh, empty, 1/2. Column, medium, 1/2. And info box dark this time. Hit my enter key. Now, according to the wireframe, the next info box is dark and it has this, it has text in it as well. So according to our Word document, the first set of text is landscaping services. So I'm going to copy it. And it is a H2 tag. Make that H2. Paste my text. Wait a second, we already did landscaping services. I copied the wrong text. Lawn care services. Okay, this says landscaping services. Okay, so there's my H2. And then I have one that says a paragraph. Copy that, make a P tag, paste my text. And that needs a line break. And this needs a line break. And then we have that contact us feature, which is actually a hyperlink. Do you guys remember how to do a hyperlink? Just like what you did for your navigation bar. This is a hyperlink. Just that little portion between those LI tags. So we're going to go down here to contact us. Put my cursor in front of it. Do A, HR equals, and it's contact.html. Did I get that right? Yes. Contact.html. My tag. Copy, cut, contact us, and paste it right there in the center. And I need to do a line break because it should be on the bottom line. Like that. So let me look at the wireframe, make sure we haven't forgotten anything here. That all looks good. Oh, that we're missing the paragraph at the top. There should be another paragraph right after this table. Let's add that real quick. It's just a small paragraph. Paste. And this is AHR contact. They both have a contact us link in them. X, paste, refresh. There's both those columns. So now we need to add some padding and things like that to our rows. So let's go here. Our H2, definitely need an H2. Our paragraph text should be in white. Now, how come our paragraph text is not white in the lawn care services, but it is white in the landscaping services? First thing I want to do is come over here and I'm going to find those info rules. I'll click in my search. Info, tan. Look there, the text is set to be black instead of white. According to our wireframe, they should both be white. So I'm going to make that adjustment. Turn this white. That looks better. But I also need to make a paragraph rule. Hit that plus sign. My paragraph rule, text alignment should be left. And my line height is definitely too close together. Spread that out a little bit. And then I'm going to find that table rule. I want to add a little bit of padding on the top and bottom. Turn this up to about 5 pixels top. Oh, that was the margin. Whoops. Let's make padding 5 pixels top, 5 pixels bottom. It's better. And then we need to set an A rule. I'm going to go down and find that contact link because we've got a bit of a problem there. It's blue. We don't want it blue and we don't want it underlined. So I'm going to make a plain A rule. I'm going to erase that. Do A, text, white, and then text decoration, none. And it should be centered on that box compared to, according to our wireframe, it should be underlined and it should be centered. So can I center that? Oh, my P tag is in the way. To move that P tag to the actual end of this paragraph, right there. And now it's centered. And it looks like our H2 rule could use some adjusting to push this paragraph down just a little bit. There's not very much space there, and we don't have an H2 rule. It's just going to its default. So I'm going to select that rule, erase everything but H2, and add some padding to the bottom. About 15 pixels. That looks better. And it looks like we could make a small adjustment to our table. And let's actually make the bottom padding on that table 15 pixels and the top 5 pixels. That looks much better. We have our A rule. I'm going to add some top padding to it as well. Actually, maybe the top margin. I don't know that we need any there, though. We could simply add another double line break. Line break there, line break there. That looks much better. And let's see if that matches up with our wireframe. Yes, it does. Tablet view, right? Yes. That looks much better. And doing those rules fixed, of course, our bottom set of rules. Okay, so now then, that's our cell phone size, which looks the way it's supposed to. We need to work on this desktop because these two columns should be side by side on tablet view. That means we have to write that rule for that medium 1/2 column. I'm going to put my cursor there and hit that plus sign. There is I'm going to erase everything but that. Column medium 1/2. And go to my layout, my width, and change to %. Change it to 50. And go down to my float, or float left. And look, it automatically brings them up side by side. But we've got a bit of a problem here, don't we? They are 2 different sizes. We need to fix that, especially when they're side by side. So I'm going to go up to my minimum height. And we're going to set the minimum height. Let's see. I'm going to take a wild guess here. Let's do 70 pixels. Not enough. Let's do 100 pixels. Still not enough. 150. I wish Dreamweaver came with a side root bar too. It'd make things a lot easier. 300 pixels. No. We don't seem to be moving. Why aren't we moving? Color medium 1/2. Display. Let's see if it'll change it if I change it to block. Nope. Come on, Dreamweaver. Nope. But you wouldn't change that. There we go. We got it at 500. Now, why wouldn't you do this before? 450. Not enough. 475. Close. 485. Oops. 485 looks pretty good. So we're good there at cell phone size. Problem is, we need to actually duplicate this into our 768 media query and delete it from here. It doesn't need to be here. Let's turn all this off. There we go. So now if we go back to cell phone size, yes, that works. So now we have our desktop. Click on my desktop size. Now in desktop view, according to our wireframe, those two are supposed to be side by side. So we still look good there. I'm going to go to my 768 rule, go down to that new column medium 1/2, and I'm going to duplicate it into my desktop just to make sure that when the browser is that size, it does pick up that rule the way it's supposed to. So that does it for that row. So let's go here. We have our first row. Let's minimize our header again. We have our first row, which is right here. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that and get it out of the way. We have our second row, which includes these two columns. I'm going to minimize it, get it out of our way. My enter key. Now we're ready to do that third row that has 4 columns in it. I'm going to click back on our index page because they're already using a rule called column large 1/4. I'm going to copy all of these like that. Copy. Go back to my services page and do div class. I need a row first. And then div, oops, div class. And then I'm going to paste my enter key. Now this has an image in it. According to our wireframe, the first image is lawn care photo 1. So I'm going to do my tag img src browse. I'm going to go into my images folder, lawn care 1. And hit open. Close that tag. Oh, I forgot to add my alt text. Alt. And I'm going to just do lawn care, or let's see. What is he doing? Pulling weeds, maybe? And so we have our first image. Now we need our next column. He's doing something like that. Yes, you can put whatever alt text you want. So I'm going to do class. I'm going to paste those rules again. My enter key. And let's go ahead and change this back to cell phone size so it doesn't look crazy to you guys. There's our first image. And we're going to repeat this image. img src browse and our lawn care 2 photo. Alt. Bush trimming. How about that? There's that column. Just put my cursor after that div. Now I need to do column 3, div class. Paste those rules. img, oops, img, src, browse, and this time it's landscaping 1. Alt, planning, press the end of that column, put my cursor after it. And our last column, div class. img, src, browse, landscape 2. Alt, oops. Puzzle? Okay, so there are all of our pictures. And for our cell phone size, it's perfect, right? Everything's stacked on top of each other the way it's supposed to be. So let's go to our 768 size. Now we have a problem. Things are kind of overlapping. They don't look too good, do they? Oops. I'm not exactly where I'm supposed to be. Hold on a second. We've got a bit of an issue going on here. Technically, our screen size should be right there. Nothing's fitting the way it's supposed to. Right there. Why won't this work the way it's supposed to? I have no idea why that's happening. It's because our pictures are too big. So let's take a look at these columns. We're going to set a rule for this column large 1/4. According to our wireframe, on tablet view, 2 of those pictures should fit side by side, just like the above. So I'm going to go to my 768 media query and click on it. I've got my column medium 1/2. It's set at 50 pixels. I have this minimum height. Don't think that's affecting it. So our picture is all screwed up over there. So if I go to background, I don't actually want to clip it. So I need to adjust these images. So I don't want to have to give all of these images a class. I want to do this another way. So I'm going to add an extra class here. And we're going to call it images. No, we're going to call it service. Oops. Services img. And I'm going to make a rule for that. Go to my selectors. Hit my plus sign. Services img, and then I'm going to add an extra img to the end of that. And we're going to set our width. Actually, let's go down to cell phone size. 100%. I go 100. Everything looks fine there. So where's that row? I'm going to duplicate that into my 768 media query. On that, services IMG, click on that 768. We have a little bit of a problem there. So I'm going to turn this down to, let's try 90% and see what happens. Did I add this to the wrong? I added this to the wrong div tag. Let's take that off. We're going to add it right here. That's a little better, except for it's too much. So well, let me change it back to there it goes. And so now it will only allow it to be 100% of the column width. And that's what we want, right? I also need to make this column large 1/4 into my 768 media query. My enter key. See all this space I have? Well, I am going to set the max height of this one. And pixels. And I think, oops, not 2200. Can I set the minimum height? That's better. I'm going to set the minimum height to that. Oh, we need to get rid of one of these rules. So the column large 1/4. Minimum height to 200 pixels. And look at there. That's looking pretty good, isn't it? So now let's take a look at our desktop view. Now for these, looks fine. I need to copy my column large 1/4 into my desktop media query, that 1024. Click on it. There it is. Now I need to change my width to 25%. That allows me to get 4 across, right? And at the desktop view, I might add just a tad bit of padding at the bottom, just to lower that footer a little bit so it doesn't feel like it's setting. Put it back 15. So it doesn't feel like those images are setting right on top of my social media icons. I think that looks much better. What do you guys think? And that made our website responsive. Let's go into just live view. Here it is. If we squish that down, we watch it change until we get down to cell phone size. And so it's responsive now. Any questions about that so far? Are we good? When you start doing it, you'll understand more, I promise. And I will be sending out that help sheet, so you're not going to be lost. Okay, so file, save all. Let's jump over and look at our wireframe for the crew page, and let's break it down like we did that services page. Okay, can you see the wireframe for the crew page? How many rows do we have? This page is a little confusing, isn't it? We have one main row, and then we have an additional row here. Let's see if I can get some drawing tools up. We have one main row right here. We have one main row right there around the whole thing. But, this is the but, and this is where it gets a little confusing. Technically, there is one more row inside that row right here. And that's how these two get stacked on top of each other. So you have this row, then you have this row, and I guess you could say this is not really a row, these are just columns. But this column consists of a row that has two things in it. Does that make sense? It makes a little more sense if you look at the desktop view. Now then, how many rows do we have? This is how it makes more sense. This is a row. These are still just columns because on the desktop view, they're side by side and they're equal in height. These are not equal in height. They're two different columns inside one row. You following me? Does that make a little more sense? Okay, so I'm going to go back over to Photoshop and we're going to code that. Oh, wrong view. Dreamweaver. Let's go into Dreamweaver. Okay, so we're done with our services page. And just to show y'all what's going on, look at what's happened to the home page. It started laying itself out, didn't it? There's a few things that need adjusting, but for the most part, this completely laid itself out the way it was supposed to. It's a few adjustments that need to be made there, but you don't have to do that this week. So we're going to close that index page, go to our files box, and we're going to open up the crew page. I go into code view. First thing, minimize that header. Get it out of your way. Minimize the footer. And we're going to erase, again, everything between the two main tags. I'm going to put a cursor between those two main tags. So, we need a row, right? Div class equals row. And then we need another row for that first set of two columns, right? Div class equals row. And then we need our first column. So div class equals COL. And It's also a column medium 1/2, right? Because at some point it sits side by side. But this is what I want you to think about. Let's go back to our wireframe. So in mobile view, they don't sit side by side, they sit on top of each other, okay? Tablet view, side by side. Desktop view, not side by side. So that's a little different than what we're used to, isn't it? So it's really not a medium column 1/2 because it has to do different things. So we can't call it the same thing or it's going to mess up our actual medium column 1/2, right? Because on desktop view, our medium column 1/2 sits side by side, like it does on the service page. Go to our desktop view. It's supposed to sit side by side. This is our medium column right here. Two medium columns. They sit side by side desktop. But on the crew page, they need to be small and stack on top of each other instead of being half the width of the page. They need to be a quarter of the width. But in tablet view, they need to be half. So how do we do that? Have we already made the rules and we can use them? We just have to use the right ones. Let's take a look. In Dreamweaver, we go to our CSS designer. In 768, I have a large 1/4 with nothing on it. We can't use that. That rule is there and it's taken. We don't want to mess up our services page. And our column medium 1/2 is set to 50%, which is fine for the tablet view because that's what it is. Those two boxes set side by side. But in our desktop version, we have this column large 1/4. So could we use those? Let's find out. So we've got this div column, and then we're going to go column. Which one would come first? Medium 1/2, and column large 1/4. And in the first one is the image of the owner, right? ING, SRC, browse, and it's Dave the owner, the crew owner. Alt, Dave the owner. It's our first column. Then we have the div class column medium 1/2, column large 1/4, and info temp. So that's a colored box that has the whole Dave the owner stuff in it. According to our Word document for the crew page, we have meet Dave the owner as a H2. Meet Dave the owner. Then we have a paragraph. And it's a small bio. Paste that. And then we have another paragraph that has a call for free estimate today in it. Copy, paste. This needs to be a line break. Put this back up where it goes. So now let's go to split. Cell phone view. Somewhere right in there. Well, we're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. I think we need to use our images rule that we made on the services page. We're going to borrow it. We're going to borrow that services IMG, and look there, it automatically fixed it. Okay, so we have our meet the day of the owner and our call for estimate 555 and so on. That one's done. Those two columns are good to go right there. Let's check them at 768 and see what we have. Oh, those still look pretty good, huh? Let's check it at desktop and see what we have so far. Ah, that's exactly what it's supposed to do, isn't it? Not exactly, because there should be something over here. It's got 25%, and we have this row. That row actually needs to go to 25% too. So what happens if I do a column? Let's column large. Column LG. One-fourth. Refresh. Not quite. That's not exactly what we want it to do. So I'm going to take this off and we're going to do small row. And I'm going to make a rule for that small row. Erase all that. Small row. Percent. 25. Oops, not 255. And I want to set the display to none. Oops, not none. I want to set the display to block. I need to move this down. Right now it's all floated left, which is nice, but I don't want it to float here, not the 1/4. I'm going to set, can we do that with our column? I think I can do that with our column. I'm going to go to 1024. That's where we're at, right? Yes. Hit my selector and .col. Nope, it's going to do it on all my columns. That's not what I want. So I think we're going to have to make rules specifically for this row, guys. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do medium column and small column. My medium column will need to work here. I have my plus sign, dot, medium column. And it needs to float left. And the width, percent. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Minus. I need to go get out of my, media queries. I should be in the 768 media query. Plus sign dot med column, enter key. There we go. Float left, width, percent, 50. I want to get rid of this small row. There we go. And we get 50%. And then I need to make the small column, and that needs to be in my 1024 rule. Plus sign, dot small column, width, percent, 25, and no float, but we still didn't move it down. So I'm going to go back to 768 and find that medium column and duplicate it into my desktop. There it is. And I'm going to turn that float off. So 1024, I'm still floating. Stop floating. There you go. So now I'm not floating, and my width is set at 50% and should be 25%. That's better. So there's desktop, tablet, cell phone. Hey, we're doing pretty good so far. But we have this problem with our row still. If I click on my row, come on, show it to me. Well, it's still huge at desktop. So in that desktop is where I'm going to need to make my small row. And I'm going to width 25%, and it's going to go left. Small row. We may have to adjust that when we get some more on there, but I think it will automatically adjust itself. It should automatically adjust itself, I should say. Medium column. Oh, we can make this 100% now. 100%. Like that. Okay, so there's desktop. So that's good. What are we missing? Oh, we need to change these rules out. This should say medium column and small column. Okay, desktop is good. Tablet, not so good. So let's go to our tablet view and see what we have here. Our tablet should be medium column. I think we need our small row rule here. No. Let's see what our row, where our row is here. Come on, show me the row. There's that. Give me the row. Dot small row. Percent 100. They're stacked on top of each other. So medium column, 50%. Yay! There we go. Okay. Desktop. How did we get off? How did we screw up desktop? Small column. Yes, medium column. Small row is supposed to be 25%. Why aren't you 25% yet? Oh, maybe because we don't have anything else. I can go set the max width percent 25. My enter key. There we go. Now, desktop, tablet. Now cell phone is screwed up. Okay, that means that we have a rule in here. Doesn't need to be here. Or maybe not. 768, small row. Should be here. Dot, small row. Percent 100. There we go. Did that fix them both? Yes. Cell phone, tablet, yes. Desktop, yes. Yay! We did it. My Dreamweaver just wants to act like a 2-year-old. But I will write the directions exactly the way I did it, guys, with having to add that small row to the desktop as well. 768. Let's go here. How many of those do I have? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have one too many. I think this one needs to go away. I think that was what was causing my problem. Let's find out. Yes. Yes. I think I had a duplicate rule that was causing my issue. But I will write them up, having those rules in all 3 places so that they work correctly and you guys don't run into what just happened to me. Okay, so that one row is done. I'm going to minimize it so it'll keep it out of our way. So now we need the stuff in the main row. Actually, I minimized the wrong row. This one. There we go. So then I need a div class column, and then it's not medium column. According to our wireframe, desktop, it's 4 columns side by side. Tablet, the about us is a big column, and then the 2 crew, the bottom section, are side by side. So I need a column and a small column is what I think that needs to be right there. So column, and I'm going to use my small. Yes, small column. Is it capitalized or no? Yes, it's capitalized. Oh, and then it's supposed to be a dark. So info box, dark. And according to our Word document, it should say about us and an H2 tag. So H2, about us, and then a couple of paragraphs. Copy, a P tag, paste, and then this should be a P tag. And end tag should be there, and an end tag should be at the end of this line. Fresh. And we have 2 paragraphs there. And that's the About Us column. So let's check tablet view. Yes, that's exactly what it's supposed to look like, except for this should be centered in tablet view, and it's not centered. Let's go to our tablet view. First, let's go to all sources. Find that H2. Yep, it's an H2. Find that H2 rule. Duplicate it. 768. Go to my 768 rule. H2. Text. Center. It seems to be right aligning it. Why are we doing that? To show all. I'm going to turn off the padding there. Oops. Left. If I turn off these bottom pixels, what happens? Nothing. Text line. Left. We're not doing anything. Text line right. Okay, right moves us. How about center? Center is moving us there, like we have some sort of space in front of this. Let's go to live view and let's see what's really happening here. What's it look like on desktop? Desktop is centered just fine. But it's not centering right here. Why does it? Where's that? That looks huge, like there's a height on it or something. I'm gonna add padding at the top. There he is. Something's not right here. Div. For some reason it's ignoring our H2 tag. Let me erase this. Fresh. File. Save all. Split view. All right. Everything looks okay there. Let's try this again. H2. About Us. Fresh. And it's trying to take the whole thing. Why do you want to do that? It's not necessary. Let's see if I can keep it from taking the whole thing. That's just odd. Let's open this up. Let's make sure I haven't forgotten a div tag. Row. There's that div. There's that div. This is our main row. And that's our column. So far, our column seems to be taking up everything as well. Column works fine there. Our column works fine there. Our column is not working fine there. Let's go to all sources. I'm going to make a column rule. We don't have one. I'm going to make one. COL, oops, .col. Enter key, clear. Both. Except for that won't work because it's going to screw up all of our columns on all of our pages. So let's see. Here is our row above. It's this row we need to clear. I'm going to add another class here called clear. Plus sign dot clear. So what's happening is our div tag is trying to wrap around the entire thing, and that's not what we want. I'm going to do clear both, which forces it around that about box, which is what we want. So now, let's go back to cell phone size. Make sure we look right. Everything looks right. Let's make sure that's all of our text for the about section. Yes, it is. And our about us is centered the way it's supposed to be now. Okay. So there's that column. So now we need to fix it in the views. Desktop view. It's the way it's supposed to be. According to the wireframe, desktop view is supposed to be across the page by itself. We're good. Desktop view is supposed to be a quarter, and we have it set to small column. So let's check our desktop view. It didn't change. Small column. That is on our desktop view, right? Small column. Oh, it's set to 100%. Let's see if I can change this to small. Row. Refresh. Nope. I'm going to make a whole new quarter column. And selectors, plus sign, dot, quarter column, width, percent, 25%. Left. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't need to float. And it's on the wrong roll again. Ah! Mine's 768. Dot. I always forget to do that. I never use the CSS designer, guys, but I know it's easier for you just starting out. It needs to float left. And the width needs to be percent. 25. And our small row. Or desktop view. Oh, I did this in the wrong one. Mine was desktop view. Quarter column. Percent 2, 5. Float left. Small row. And just a float left. We have a problem. Oh, we need to add our clear rule here. Dot clear. Actually, I should have just duplicated it. Let's go back to all styles. Where's that clear rule? Just right click, duplicate, desktop. That's for clear rule. Come on. No. quarter column, fill left, small row, left. Small row. Width is 25. My row is again not adjusting itself. Come on. Let me reset it. 25%. Oops. 25%. Adjust. Let's see, small row. Let's see. I'm going to take off the row. It's still big. And float left. That's all right. Max width. Oops. 5%. Oh, come on. Okay, do I have a div tag out place? No. My quarter column is down there, but thanks to this nice rule, see guys, you're not the only ones that have trouble sometimes. What if I change this to small column? Let me take it down. No, you still want to stretch across the page. Okay, I'm going to erase this row for a second because Dreamweaver wants to be nuts. Well, yeah. There's one row. Div class small row. And X. Refresh. Well, save all. He did the owner. Oh, I forgot the IMG. It's still keeping my row big. Okay, let's see. Width and pixels. Oh, wait a second. Dot. I'm missing a period there. 25%. File, save all. It hates me. Okay, small row. Small row. It's 768. It needs to be 100%. I guess it's 768. I don't even know if we need that. 1024. File. Save all. It doesn't get any smaller. This needs to go up beside it. So let's see if I can force it on. And let's see, this is the About Us quarter column. Let me find my quarter column rule here. Position, top, percent. Not moving. Come on, there we go. I'm just going to adjust the margins and force it up here, guys. The small roll should be working, but apparently Dreamweaver doesn't like me today. I'm going to put it right there and move it up to the top. Match it. And it looks like we need to add the clear roll here. File, save all. We need to make the footer clear all too. Where is our footer rule? We don't have a footer rule in our desktop. We're going to need to add that. Footer. Footer. Clear all. File. Save all. And we have, let's see, what is that gray box? Our meet date, right? A small column is set at 25. That's set at 25. And let me think about this for a second. We're going to have to do something to lengthen this gray box. So I'm going to make a match rule. Oops. And it needs to be on the desktop view. So match, match, and minimum height. Oops, too far. I need to move my 1024. Quarter column needs to go up again. That. Match. Natural. Come on, match. Not there. Let's try this again. Start match. And height. Oops, too much. Kind of have to play around with this a little bit until you get them matched up. Almost. Oh, very, very close. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so there's the about column. It'll get easier from here. Once you get those rules done, it gets easier from here. Let's check. There's desktop. Looks good there, except for our columns are not floating here anymore. 768, medium column, 50%, full left. Okay, where's Dave? Small column, info box, clear. That's me, Dave. This medium column, 50%. Full left. Slash full left. And a small column here too. Small column. Small row. Yes. Yes. Small column. Yes. Small row. Small row. Small row. Yes. Yeah. There everything's good there. So why aren't we floating? Small row, 100, 125. Show set, just the width. Small column. That's on the desktop. Okay. We have a medium column. So here, yes. 50%, float left. Why aren't you working? Then we have a small row, 100. If I turn it down, no. Okay, look, your column. Why are you stuck together? Oh, because I did this. Is there a match in 768? No. Is there one in all sources? Yes. And there's a clear. Oops. Clear? Yes. 768, is there a clear? Yes. There we go. Okay, desktop. Oh my goodness. Row looks fine. Small column, medium column. Oh my goodness, guys. Dreamweaver is such a baby. Okay. We're going to get rid of this match rule. Clear rule. Clear rule needs to be there. Match rule apparently needs to be there. There's the match rule. Footer column, that's fine. Small row. 25%, that's what I was trying to get it to do before. Medium column. Now this should say 100%. That. Close. 100. Yes. Small column. 100. Yes. Look, that looks so good. And footer. Looky there. Yay. No idea, guys. No idea whatsoever, but I'll write down my final rules. I promise I'll send them to you. Okay. Let's check tablet. Cross your fingers. Yes, all of that still looks good, except for that about us. Okay, what got messed up on the about? Oh, the clear rule should be on the about us. Where is it? There's not a clear. Clear. There we go. Except for it doesn't there. I'm gonna change this to clear about. So Dreamweaver wants to be crazy. What is that clear? That fixed it. Yay! Okay, thank goodness that column is done. Now the other column should be a lot easier. So we're going to go div class equals medium column. Is that all we need to say is medium? No, quarter column. Quarter column. And img src browse. Crew team photo comes next. Alt text. Crew image. It's not in the right place. Oh, I know why though. Right here. 168. Quarter column. Okay, we have that. Don't go back to being crazy. Small row. Oh, there it is. Okay, 1024. Small row. Put left. Yes, and a quarter column. Put left. Display line.
At all. Don't do that either. Don't do that either.
Max width 25%. Okay, something's not right here. I'm gonna crew team. We're just gonna force it off. Alt crew image. So now crew team desktop plus crew team width 25%. Left. Margin. Margin. Put it out. And our quarter column, I made some adjustments to that. Routine. 25%. Why are they two different sizes? Oh, because the image isn't sitting correctly. There we go. Uh-oh. Crew team. Backwards, right there. Okay, there's that one. Okay, one last div tag and we are all done. Div class equals, and we're going to call this crew members. And then, according to our Word document, we have an H2 tag. Copy. The crew. And then we have an H3 that's supposed to say from top going clockwise. Copy. Paste. And then we have a paragraph. Copy. Command V. Oops. Command C. Paragraph tag first. Paste. And I'm going to even all of these up. Come on. And I'm going to put line breaks after each one of these. Break, 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 break. Oops. Break, 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 and paragraph. And this is supposed to be info box dark. No, it should be info box tan. Like that. Right. Look, the tan box went into place. The text did not. Okay, so now crew members, my plus sign. Oh no, I don't want it there. I want my desktop view. Plus sign. Dot crew members. Into that percent. 25. All the way over here. Like that. And now I think we're going to have to shorten some things up so things fit. Okay, so our Dave box was, let's go back up to our Dave. Medium column. And if there's no height on it, here's our match rule. Match. Okay. And our next one was the quarter column. there. We don't want that over there. Let's see if we can't decrease this text. So I'm going to add a class rule here. Class equals Dave bio. Font. Line height. To increase this. No, to increase it. Oops. Okay. And then we have the about us, and I'm going to add a class here. Class equals about text. That's fine. Right. Class equals about text. Where's my about text go? Line height. $169. Too much. 168.5. 7. 9. But 169 is too much. 69%. That's pretty close though. So we'll hit our enter key there. And here's bio. About is our footer column. Ta-da! Oops. A little bit too much. There we go. 755. So protein negative 755. Better. And that is the crew members here. line height is supposed to be really there. Percent, turn that up. Here. And our crew members crew team picture, we need to do some pixels. But it's not going to fit. So our crew picture is going to have to be smaller than that. So let's see if we can make everything match it. Quarter column text. We are about text. About text. Type. Font size. Point. 12. 912, just 12. Still not enough. 10. Ah, that's closer. We can turn up our line height a little bit. Okay. 90. 29. Almost. 8. 8. So, oops, 7. Too much. How about 7.7? 9. Well, we can't get an exact. So I can get an exact with pixels. It's too much. Thank you. 4. Ooh, almost. 5. 0.8. 9. Going to go 25. This is going to have to be a little bit bigger than that image. Okay, so that works there. So then we have bio, type, do bio. Come on. type, font weight, font size, point. Type, font size, 10 point. That's better. There. Team. There. Oh, we're pretty close. Column. No, that's the day column.
Oh,
Must be the match roll. Have a match. No, we don't have anything set there. So that means we need to change the date bio. Let's shrink that line height down some more. And quarter column. That's pretty close. That's class equals date bio. Okay. Now let's look at the live view. Quarter column. Down. Much better. Crew team. Yeah, that is about as close as you're going to get it. Then we have the crew members. Turn it off. File, save all. Come on. I'm going to set the minimum height. All right. There. 597. So 97. Date bio. Clear column. I'm going to set the max height. Pixels. And 597. That evened that out. So I need to do the same thing to that column. And that is medium column. Max height, 597. 597. My view. Small column. Max height. 9. Okay. Yes, that is the way it's supposed to look. Cell phone. That is the way it's supposed to look. All right, guys, that is it for the service and the crew page. I promise you I'm going to send this all to you so you can see the files. Because the crew page, if your crew page gives, your Dreamweaver gives you as much trouble on the crew page as mine just did, it's going to drive you bananas just like it did me. But that's okay because I have given you the workaround and I'm going to include those. Even if you now look at this, isn't that just pretty? This file is nuts. I'm nuts. My Dreamweaver is acting crazy. I'm going to shut it down and I'm going to do a computer restart and look at it again. But I promise you, I am going to send you out my actual HTML file for the crew page so that you can actually see what I did, okay? And you will get the help sheet for the services page. The crew pages in my Dreamweaver is not wanting to accept these columns. So I'm going to go back in and play with it for a little bit, but I will get it to you. Okay, guys, we'll call it a night for tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4:15 Mountain Time. Good night, guys.